Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to the 3D sets continuation. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm waiting on some parts for the magnetic IDEX printers, so we're just gonna do a 3D set stream today. I think next Saturday I'll be able to start work on the IDEX, magnetic IDEX printer. I ordered my CPAP, all the hoses. I have hot ends. I just need to order some extruder gears, and I should be able to start assembling like the basic parts for the IDEX. Um, I believe I got a main board for it, and I've got some Raspberry Pis or some Big Tree Tech Pi 2s lying around that I could use for Clipper. So I think we're getting to be in pretty good shape for getting the IDEX stream build stream started. But until I get the parts, I'm just gonna keep working on my 3D sets. Like I said, I've had this for like 4 years and I haven't finished it, and I'm getting really close. So hope everyone's having an awesome weekend. What I'm doing right now is I ordered some tires for this. So I've already kind of pre-mocked a tire up, installed it, all that kind of stuff. So we got 3 more to go here. And then I reprinted some parts. I ordered the correct color of filament from when I initially printed this. And I'm just upgrading the parts from like the Tronxy print here to my Bamboo Labs print here so that it looks halfway decent. The top of this really bugged me. And in fact, I might get this all installed now because I don't want to accidentally break off the windshield frame on this. So I think what we'll do here is get this off, and I do have my electric screwdriver charged up, which I can go grab. Move you guys over just a second here. Believe this is the right size. It's just all right. So we can replace these parts. And then I can finally get all of this bolted up together. How's everyone's weekend going? So yeah, you can see, you can hopefully kind of see the print quality on this. It's definitely not great, but I'll focus. Pretty poor print quality. This was 4 years ago on a Tronxy. I'm sure a lot of that print is my fault too. I probably can't blame it entirely on the printer itself. Can I actually get in there? I guess I'm going to have to use a smaller Allen for that to unbolt this to this. Let me grab my Allen that's a bit smaller for that. Should have one kicking around here somewhere. If it's this one. guys over for a second here. Interesting. Need to find my smaller Allen. I think this is the size here that I'm looking for. Hey Mitsubishi, welcome, welcome. What was I doing here? I think your Cappy video is driving some some Cappy builds. More Cappy content out there, which is great. Yeah, it's awesome. I'll probably, I think today I'm going to update my website, and I'm going to have, I'll have like my top 3 printers. So like Cappy, Rook, and then Delta Flyer will probably be up there. So it'll be up to date, and I'm going to take off like Defiant and stuff like that. Take off my older builds, kind of just make sure my website is a bit more up to date for everyone who's kind of taking a glance at it and whatnot, and they can find more information quicker on my builds and, you know, the state of them and what's current and what's not and that type of thing. So hopefully I'll do an update either today or tomorrow on the website so it's a bit more clear on that. And then I think I'll tweak a couple parts for Cappy. I think I'm going to put apex clips on the Z instead of the M3 bolts and having a belt loop around it. I think I can just put some apex clips on there, clean it up, gets rid of 4 screws out of the bill of materials, and just some minor cleanup and stuff like that. I think I've fixed a few things on printables already, so just to make sure everything's as good as possible. And then I got to get my Cappy up and going, which is, I haven't taken any parts from it, so it is ready to go. So I'm gonna get it up and running, do some prints on it and some more stuff on it. Yeah, especially for the Z, because like there's nothing really to it's really easy place to put apex clips in there and just clean that up a bit, and then it'll make it look a lot nicer too, instead of having the yeah, some printed assembly guides. So Mitsubishi, I think I have someone working on a manual, so I do think there is an actual manual coming out for for Cappy. So stay tuned for that. Hey, Shrimpfather, welcome, welcome. So yes, there's some pretty awesome news on that front. And yeah, I mean, Yeah, hopefully, if everything goes well, I would like to have a standardized manual for like my printers going forward. If the Cappy test goes well, I can have a standard manual in place for my printers. Is the idea. So we'll see if that works out. I'm excited for that to happen for sure. And then again, just some more video content on Cappy. Get more people out there building it. I think I'm just gonna drill this a little bit. It's a shame because like Core XY is so. Everyone just assumes Core XY is like the absolute best thing ever to exist, which, you know, it's great and all, but it's not like. It's not the only 3D printing motion that's good. You know, there's lots of different ones that are just completely fine, especially for beginners, especially for people getting into 3D printing. Like it's always, especially on YouTube and stuff like that, Core XY, Core XY, Core XY, and that's all there is. When there are a lot of other great printer, and like I personally am kind of just over Core XY for a while. It's very oversaturated for like. It's just kind of getting old and stale to me, so that's why I'm really enjoying like Delta Flyer, and I'm enjoying, you know, that you're doing Cappy content and stuff like that. So like the magnetic IDEX is fun. Part of it's fun because it's not Core XY. I mean, it's just nice. It's just enjoyable to build. Well, these are going to be an absolute pain. So. And I have some other non-Core XY, like technically non-Core XY ideas in my head and stuff like that too, but who knows when those will be ready, but yeah. I'd like to get some more people building Delta Flyer as well, getting some more Delta builds going out there. So hopefully that'll happen this year as well. Get some more of those builds going. This has got to be the most awkward spot. I don't have a thin enough bit for my screwdriver to actually do this. Is this even? Yeah, I agree with you. There's enough deltas out there, so I'm just, or there's enough Core XY printers out there. I think I just want to start doing some more different builds, Delta and stuff like that. Okay, this is just annoying me. This definitely will not fit in there, right? I'm missing my other. Yeah, this is just slightly bending a little bit. This is just really an awkward spot if you don't have the correct bit, which I probably had when I built this thing, but now it's, I lost it or whatever, and the fact that this is an M2 doesn't make it any easier. Okay, well, I'll focus on that later. I'm gonna just tighten this for now here. This is even long enough to. So yeah, hopefully there'll be a really great capping manual coming out soon. Cappy's a pretty simple build. It's pretty straightforward, but yeah. I'll try to make some more videos highlighting a few key areas on it and trying to, so it'll help people building it and whatnot. All right, at least that side's on. So this is the back cab for this, and just trying to get this one stupid M2, but it has to go in on an angle, which I can't get with this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just enlarge this a bit here. It's not even like a crazy structural part or anything for this. It's just the rear of the cab. I just don't have the correct tool to do a M2 this deep in a hole like this. Maybe I got it started. This is annoying. I think I got it. I think. No. Of course not. Okay. Let me just see if I can get my set here. So I have these long ones here, but these are too big for M2, of course. This would work perfectly in that spot. I don't even think this kit came with one small enough for M2 in that size, which is like not a common size for this, but I need to get this thing tight so that I can finish this body. I still need to print the doors too on this, but those are pretty straightforward. Yeah, this is just really annoying. Okay, I'm just gonna avoid that for now. All right. Let's get this new top print on here. So we'll grab these, which I can actually use my E-driver Ford. Okay. I'm just very excited to see this thing finally on its own like wheels, because it's been in this condition for a very, very long time. Just seeing the axles installed in this is like really, really cool, just because it's sat for so long. Partly done. Okay. Yeah, it's funny how much faster this goes when you actually can use the correct tool for the job. If anyone is building one of these 3D sets, I highly recommend getting yourself a E-screwdriver for sure. They're not powerful enough to do every bolt on this build, but they will definitely save you in some annoying spots for sure. And get yourself some long bits for M2s and whatnot. And ideally, I should just drill these holes out for 2mm, and then they'd be much easier to drive in. But I actually have an Allen that fits this. Actually, this might work if I can cut some of this away. Maybe I can try that actually for this annoying spot right here. Okay, so let's try to get this lid on here. Hopefully it will cooperate with us. Let's see, I can maybe start it with... Okay, now that I got these threaded in, I'm going to actually back these out. It's nice and flat, and then I can get them all in. I'm wondering if I should just get my 2mm bit here, which is this guy, and just maybe make those holes a little bit bigger, because I imagine this is going to bite me in the end. So I might as well just make those holes a better size for this to work, and then go from there. And that way these will just drop in. I don't have to like depend on the threads. They'll thread into this bottom piece just fine, but this is an awkward angle, and I'd rather them just slip in all the way versus threading in themselves. These don't need to be threaded. But that's kind of par for the course for 3D printed models. Get these nice and cleaned up here. So a 2mm bit will give you a loose 2mm hole, so that these actually now will be able to just slide in without threading at all. So that's helpful for that. Okay, I think what I'm going to try here, now that I have this off, I'm going to try again at this one, but I'm going to see if I can cut off some of this insulation on here. And I do highly recommend 3D sets for people who are interested in kind of larger scale builds. They're really, really fun because you can't like assemble this in a day. It's a nice long-term project, which is very enjoyable. And then you get a fully functioning RC car at the end. Yeah. So I just cut that insulation back, and now this is like way longer. I should have done that about 15 minutes ago. Would have been much better. Now it's just getting this thing started. The problem is it just doesn't quite line up. There we go, I think. Wow, this thing just does not want to cooperate. It's just slightly off, it looks like. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up this hole to a 2mm as well, so that the screw has a little bit more leeway. Try this again. If you can get the M2 going straight on, it'll hit the hole fine, but it's just fighting me a little bit. Alright, so let's see if I can actually line this up correctly now. Sometimes stuff like this just takes persistence, and eventually you'll get it, but I remember having this much trouble with this when I first assembled it. Yeah, it's just off by such a small margin. Okay, I'm going to try something here. Let's just loosen this up a touch. So that hopefully I hate these ball end on the socket because they get stuck in the bolts. It's the worst. If I would have known this was going to be such a struggle for this one stupid bolt, I would have done this off stream. Okay, finally I got it. Riveting stream content, I know. So what's everyone doing for projects this weekend? Anyone doing any builds or anything like that? There we go. Wow, that only took about an hour. Okay, so this goes on like so. I won't tighten these down so it's loose so I can get the other side started and lined up. Well, all this effort's worth it because, like I say, I wanted to get some nicer looking prints for the top, because I mean the top is something you see quite easily. Tighten these up now. That was painful, but it's done. All bolted on, and now I have a much, much better part. So this actually goes in here, like so. So I believe it's M3, and M3 bolts go into here. Do I have any M3 bolts? Let me open up the manual here. 3D sets. Okay, let's go to models. Landy. Let's find the manual here. Build guide. I have to jump around the manual a little bit because I kind of assembled this thing in my own ordering. There it is right there. Okay. M3 by 20 screws go into the bottom of this. So there is 4 M3 bolts right here. And like I say, I have to be careful that I don't snap this off because that's going to be really, really annoying if that happens. So I need some M3 by 20 bolts for that, which I should have over here. So M3 by 20. Much nicer working with M3 hardware than M2. And I don't recall if I've ever put the bolts in here or not. Yeah, it's possible I have. It's definitely a bit awkward to work in this position. Why is this? once this is all. I'm just going to get one started here, and then hopefully I can just use my screwdriver to get it installed fully. Okay, that's definitely not doing what it's supposed to. Try to get this in view here. Okay. I need to, I think I want to drill those holes out a bit. So, where did I put my M3 drill bits? That's 3.5. So this is a 3.2, but it'll be completely fine, and then I can drill those holes out larger so I can actually get the bolts in correctly. I gotta do it from the back here. I do have the differential in the way, but there is enough access. All right, that should help quite a bit with getting that stuff in. All right. Now I need an M3. That should work fine. These should just go right in now that I've pre-drilled this. Yep, there we go. Kind of. So this now will attach. Okay, it's got to be. Lined up a bit. Okay. That's one. about as good as it can get with that driver. Definitely glad they leave you access for the bolts under here. This model's got a good weight to it. I'm sure you can imagine it being like a 1/8 scale giant piece of plastic, essentially. A lot of these parts are printed quite strong. One left. Okay. There's what it looks like with the new roof on, which is quite nice. Definitely an improvement. I do need to reprint this hood because I printed it in a gray that's not correct, but this will actually have hinge, and it does have a kind of notch here with a hood pin so that you can actually close the hood like a real vehicle. So really just cool scale details, but I don't know if you can see on camera, this is a different gray. I don't remember what gray this was. This is a bamboo print. It does look really, really nice, but I do have some Amazon 3D gray that I want to use for that. This is, of course, all PLA, so now I have to somehow get an M2 into each side on the inside. If I look at that is a M2 by 10, which I do have, I think, in this. Just don't know how annoying and awkward this is going to be to install into there. Because I don't think... I think this is too fat for like a good angle, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I'll have to manually try to get it in there. I actually don't know how you're supposed to get that in from the inside. Like, there's no way. It's definitely a tricky spot. You need like a long bit, like, to actually get proper access to the inside of this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that for now. I will get it buttoned up eventually, but at least this will protect the actual frame, and then I can screw that in later. All right, so what we need to do is we need to start prepping these wheels. So I'm gonna do this next wheel here, but before I do the wheel, I am going to install the fender flares. Make sure I grab the right one here, which will go on there like so. And these are, I think, M3 by 6, which is, yeah, or no, M2 by 6, I should say. So who here is excited for the magnetic IDEX build? I'm definitely very interested in seeing how all the functions and stuff work in Clipper. There we go. I should get my fan going here so it doesn't get too hot. Okay, a couple more M2 by 6s. Perfect. And then this is a little bit of print and place support just right there. There we go. These fenders and this bed side were printed on the trunk. See, they're not that bad because they're like a side view of it. It doesn't look as bad, I guess. So. All right. Fender installed. Okay. So for these tires, I pre-drilled these out to 1.5 millimeters so that I can thread M2 bolts in. So what we need to do is we're going to have to drill out these rims so that the holes, again, are loose. Because I'm only want to thread into one side. So we're going to grab our 2 millimeter bit here. And then I'm going to actually largen these holes up. To exactly 2. So, now that we have that, I think these are M3 by 10s for the rims. Let's go down all the way to the bottom here for rims. Yeah, it's M3 by 10, or M2 by 10. So, again, I want this M2 bolt to go just slide right through the outside wheel because it's going to thread into the back side of this. Now the annoying part is we need to make sure that these line up because there is an orientation where the hexes don't match. So we need to make sure that this is lined up correctly. sure this is all nice and ready for the M3 there. So we basically need to match it up so that these two hexes line up. And the M2 bolt will go through and it will thread into one of the holes. Okay, so that is not right. That orientation is incorrect because it doesn't match up the hex exactly. That's wrong. So you gotta just rotate the one until it's perfect, and I believe this is the one right here, so. So, yeah, this is the correct orientation for the front and the back. Okay, so I need to take this apart and I need to put them in exactly the same way. So the top bolt, okay. So before we go crazy on getting that installed, I want to test these first to make sure. Yeah. So these differential parts I kind of printed not the correct layer height, so I have to file them a little bit. If I can grab my file. Because I want these wheels to slide onto these axles properly. So they should just only need a very small amount of adjusting. These should be printed at like 0.5 or a 0.6. And I print them at 0.2. Let's see what this is like now. Yeah, that's definitely improved. It does go on. I think I forgot a bolt in the axle, maybe. That does fit on there. Probably just massage it ever so slightly. Can't really show it that well on camera, but I'm just making sure this is as accurate as I can. I say it doesn't need much. So let's try to get this installed. Actually, it's the front one that I was doing. These front ones are really nice. I think I printed these front ones, these front ones at the correct layer height. You got to be very careful with these edges. They're a little bit brittle, but it should be okay. All right, so I need to make sure that this is at the top. My pre-threaded hole is at the top, so we index these correctly. And then this one is also at the top. And then you kind of got to squeeze these together so that you can get everything lined up. See if we are pretty close. There we go. So 5 of those. I really like these wheels because they're like a steely. They kind of have like an off-road kind of just like beater look to them because they're steely wheels. The other wheels that they have for the Landy model is they look like Jeep Wrangler wheels, like TJ wheels or something like that, which I don't like. So I'm not 100% set on this bronze color. I mean, it's growing on me a little bit, but the colors on this build are so bland. Like, I wish I would have printed the body in a different color than gray. I don't know why I printed it gray. But I might actually do another one of these builds. And that's one thing that I'm going to pay close attention to is when I pick the color for this. I'm going to not choose gray. Maybe like well, now that I know I have a really nice green, spruce green color, I'd like to build one of these in that color. Alright, so there's those M2 bolts in there. So it basically clamps the wheel together. This wheel unfortunately is split, but I will be gluing that anyways. So then you pop the wheel on there like so. That one fits really nice. And I believe it is M3 by 10. And it says M3 by 10 button head, but I'm definitely not using button head. I'm just going to use a socket head M3 by 10. Which out somewhere. I have so many containers of bolts. I do not know where my M3 by 10 black ones are. Let me see where I put those. They're not. Where I thought. Those are 8s. Well, whatever. I don't need to bolt it on. Oh, they're right here. So our M3 by 10 just goes in the center, and that holds it onto the axle. I think I only drilled through one of of the rims in the center. Okay. So yeah. This I think that one rim is needing to be glued back, but yeah, just popped off, which is fine. So at least the front wheels are done. And from last stream I did get kind of everything fixed and sorted out. This actually has really good travel now on both front and back. So front wheels are installed. It's kind of like resting on its own weight now, which is really cool to see. So I got to do the same for these wheels. Again, these are all pre-drilled. Are these ones already drilled through? No, they are not. So we're going to do that. So an M2 should go through there with no problems now. And again, we have to index these so that they line up nice. I don't know what. That one's slightly off. That one's off. Off. That is the one, I think. Oh. I don't think this wheel got drilled with the 5mm bit here, or the 1.5mm bit, I should say. What was I doing? This one here. Definitely a lot of planning that is involved in building these rims. You got to make sure that they're, yeah, see, that one doesn't match up. Chop. There's only one way these match up. So this. Yeah. Not perfect. Maybe one more or over. try this one and see. Actually, it's not quite powerful enough to. Nope, that's not the hole. I don't know if these ones are matching up for some reason. That's definitely not correct. I don't think this one works. Try here. Yeah, I don't think you guys can see this, but there's like a hex on both rims and they have to match. But for this rim, for whatever reason, I am not finding the match for it. Maybe this is it here. Yeah. I mean, that one is the closest. I might have to just go with it. I don't know. Let's try to get two in here. Yeah, it's slightly off. So I have an idea. To make my life easier, I'm going to use a drill bit to actually, as like a pin to line these up, I think. So if I have a spare bit, rather than trying to test fit them with M2, I can actually just stick this bit in here, and it should also go in here really without much effort. And then I can figure out what is the best alignment here. So it's not that one. It's that one. I think I actually found the correct. Must have missed going. There we go. That is not tight. This is not the one I want. I don't think this one was drilled out for some reason. Yeah, that's not correct. That is correct. These rims are definitely a bit fiddly, but you can get them with persistence. There we go. Yeah, so those line up nicely. So I think we're ready to finally put a tire on this rim. So let's remember the orientation. Take one of our tires here. Pop it on the wheel. Pop it on there. Yeah, definitely buy yourself a drill bit set if you plan on building one of these, for sure. It's not quite lining up. Okay, let's try a different one. There we go. Once you got two started, it should fall together pretty quickly. Not really supposed to do this with electric screwdrivers, but it's kind of the best way to get these M2 bolts threaded into the back side of this rim. Oh, I should say it's the fastest way. There we go. All right, finally we have this rim installed. Okay, there you go. That one's done. Now, will it fit onto the axle? Should. There we go. We've got 3 tires on. I don't know, the bronze or gold it's kinda working. Okay, this is the final set. Take our drill bit here and we're going to use it as a guide, although I don't think I drilled. Let's just make sure that these are all drilled out to 1.5. Okay, well, hopefully those aren't too big. So now we're going to do 2mm for the rim, because this one was not drilled out yet. should be all the drilling now. Should you get all the excess off of there. And we are going to just see if I can find the index. It's not quite it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. Goes much quicker now once you kind of have a good plan or a good method to do it. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so we just need to remember to assemble it the same way on the tire. So turn this a little bit here. Should be good. Leave it a little bit loose so that I can get the opposite side started. There we go. Yeah, this is not a fast build. I mean, we've been doing tires and installing. Hey, thank you very much. Welcome, welcome. Yep, new job so far is going well. We will definitely be doing another stream next Saturday, and hopefully it'll be the IDEX. The magnetic IDEX. Yeah, hopefully Cappy will have a manual by then. So you have a build manual. Who knows what else will be happening, but I'll do some YouTube videos and show Cappy some more love. Yeah. All right, and I'm pretty positive that this axle is very, very annoying to fit. Like this one needs the most attention. I don't know what happened to the print for it, but try to kind of really mangled up. I don't remember what printer I printed this on. Or I printed it like in the wrong orientation or something? I don't know. Yeah, I definitely don't know what's going on with this one. axle. It's kind of misshapen, so I might have to reprint it later because it's definitely not great. I'm not going to be running this truck anytime soon, so I can just wiggle it on there temporarily so that this thing can sit on all 4 wheels. Finally, so yeah, we have fully working suspension, and it does have some nice articulation as well. Like you can see all 3 tires are on the ground there still with it up like that. The back isn't quite as soft as the front. But these are like really, really cheap shocks. And the front does have a bit more weight on it, but oh, I guess I forgot to install the fender flares on this guy. Yeah, it's a pretty capable crawler, in all honesty. So I'm excited to kind of see it run. So what I'll do here is I'm gonna just, I'm pretty sure I forgot to install a screw in the differential when I built this, because the axle shaft should not pop out. That's not a big deal. I can easily disassemble the rear end some other time and actually install that bolt into the differential, and then we'll be good. So what I'm going to do is try to make myself a little bit of space here so I can set this on its side and I can install the fender flare. But yeah, there's going to be a little bit of fixes. I got to glue the back of this one rim, which is not a big deal. And like little stuff like that, so. I will also take the axles apart and install those screws so that they don't come apart. Is this the correct? No, I don't think this is the correct side. I bet it's this one here. Okay. 2 more to go on this guy. There we go. One more in the back here. There we go. Rear fender flare installed. Now I can just throw this tire back on. Like I say, just temporarily. I will pop this differential apart and sort that out. So this one shouldn't be on very tight because I think I'm going to reprint this shaft. Like I say, wrong layer height, and I don't remember what orientation I printed it in. I think you print them standing up. I can't recall. But I definitely did not print it correctly, that's for sure. But it's nice to see the tires and wheels finally on this thing after 4 years. This is not a very new model. These all nice and tightened up. But now the things I learned from building this one, when I build my second one, I'll know like what tools I need and, you know, pay attention to layer height and stuff like that. I was still an amateur when I was printing these files, so a lot of them didn't print that well, and I kind of just like went about it as I went. And it's hard to pick a project back up after 4 years. It's not that easy. All right. There we go. All sorted. I'll just try to get this on kind of. There we go. 4. I don't even think. Yeah, that has to go down quite a bit. I'm going to have to get like a long Allen key for this. There's no way I can get that in any other way. But yeah, there she goes. And then, like I say, I gotta reprint the hood, but it does actually have a functioning opening hood. Yeah, I'm actually shocked that I didn't throw out, like, I lost pieces and stuff like that. So it's nice that I did not. And I definitely want to get this assembled, but yeah, pretty nice articulation really for a 3D printed model. Like, you can see how much travel there is on one side. I have a feeling that the springs are in the back are at different rates or something like that, but yeah, it should be a fun little rig to romp around in the house or outside or whatever. I wish I would have chosen a different body color. Gray is gray looks good in real life, but on a model like this, I would have maybe preferred a different, like, green would have been cool. Maybe like a teal or just something of that popped a little bit more. Even purple would be really neat. So when I make my next one, I am going to pay attention to the color for sure. I think I actually broke part of the roof off when I took the supports off, but that's not the end of the world. So I still got to print the doors out. The doors do open and close, and then I have to put a battery into it, speed control, wire up a receiver, and we are good. The back sits like a little bit higher than I would like, not by much. Maybe as I drive it'll wear in a little bit. Yeah, my logo colors would be pretty cool. That would be a cool color. I know like Sunlu make a color that's pretty close to it. So that would be an interesting color to try. Um, and then I still need to put on like the bumper. I have the grill and stuff here that actually has the proper details and stuff like that. And I need to put on the rear bumper, I think, and license plate and stuff like that. I'm gonna make a custom license plate for it. But like even the even on the interior, it's got like a actual armrest storage. It has windshield wipers. It does have like a functional bed. You're supposed to 3D print like a top to this so your battery goes in here, but I'm gonna try to hide the battery like under the seats or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but yeah, very happy that this is finally on its own wheels and can actually sit proper. And yeah, it's getting pretty heavy. Like I don't know how much this would weigh. A few pounds for sure. It'll weigh even more once I get the doors all printed in and stuff like that. But not much left to print. Like I say, gonna reprint this hood. It's the wrong color. Maybe I'll use this. I'll keep this as like a spare or something like that. I don't know yet, because it is a really nice print. And then I'm gonna get these M2 bolts in here installed. I'll buy a long Allen for that. You can see my motor wires here are just like dangling. I still have to. I have a speed control for it already. That I'll have to run the wires into the cab here, and then the speed control goes underneath the seats, which I think I need to disassemble some things to get the seats out, but I might just Dremel out the side here, because the door is going to be closed anyways. You're not going to see this opening. I think I'm going to open these up so I can slide the ESC, and I maybe can fit like a 2-cell battery in here. This is not meant to go fast. Again, it's a rock crawler for climbing and stuff like that. So it doesn't need a crazy large battery because it's not going very far. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to accomplish today, is get all these wheels on. I definitely have some reprinting to do with the rear axle, certainly. I don't really like how these printed out. So I'll reprint those out, and I actually have to put the screws into the differential so the axle shafts don't slide out while you're driving it. Print out the doors, print the hood, reprint the hood, and then I think there's a bumper I gotta print out. Maybe there's like a black bumper. Well, whatever color you choose, but yeah. I have to 3D print the bumper, front bumper, side marker lights, little stuff like that. But that's kind of it, guys, for this stream. Like I say, I hope to be doing magnetic IDEX printer build next Saturday. My CPAP parts will be here on Tuesday. And I just need to order some BMG gears. I do have a hot end. I'm going to modify the CAD just a little bit. So I actually have this bamboo style hot end. So here's my test print of the magnetic IDEX carriage. So I don't like groove mount hot ends, and that's what this uses. I am going to stick to the BMG gears because I do think this design is really, really good. But I am going to modify it so I can mount this is a rigid mount bamboo hot end. It has like more of a Voron style, or it has bolts on the heatsink that it rigidly bolts onto a part, right? But it's basically a bamboo style hot end. So I ordered 2 of these. I've got them on hand. So I'm going to just slightly modify the CAD so that I can fit this here inside the part. And then these can close together. And we'll put all the BMG gears in here, the tensioner, CPAP will still be for cooling and stuff. I've got the bearings. So all I need to do is disassemble my MakerBot so that we can slide the bearings on and get these on. And it shouldn't take that long to get this thing up and running, the IDEX. So it's just really waiting on parts. But thanks everyone for coming by and hanging out. There's a little bit of tedium in some of the build today, but you know, it is what it is on some of these builds. And I think I'll do one more stream on this. Like I have to install, I don't even know where that is. Oh yeah, I do have the tailgate for this as well. So it does actually have a functional tailgate too. So I think it actually goes on to another part that I don't yet have printed. I think the bumper or something, like the rear bumper, the tailgate goes onto there, and then this actually latches onto some screws. I think some M3. Actually, I can find out here. Probably can get the M3 bolts just installed on there. So it's M3. Where is it? Trying to see where in the steps do you install those rear bolts? There we go. M3 by 6. M3 by 6, like really, really tiny guys. Do I have some of those? I do. So M3 by 6 go in the back here just to hold the tailgate on. So I'll probably just quickly throw those. Then I can just click the tailgate in and I don't lose it. So again, very awkward angle to get these in here. You're most likely supposed to install these at a different point. Can I even get them started? Okay, there it kind of started. Tricky but not impossible to install. So these need to be installed all the way flush. And these bed sides do need to be bolted in here too. I don't recall why I had them out, but they act as door latches, these M3 bolts in the side here. Those back installed. So now we have one more M3 by 6 in the back. Tricky to get started, but once it catches, it should be fine. There we go. You can kind of see the articulation on the front there with the front camera a little bit. So this will snap closed like so. There we go. So that's it. That is the end of our build for today. Kind of see the articulation there on the front. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming by and chatting with me and watching the build. Next Saturday, fingers crossed, we will start the magnetic IDEX build. So I will catch you all